in the name of George Lucas is going on here? I've watched the first two episodes of The Acolyte, and I'm not going to fool around with this review. The Acolyte is worse than The Last Jedi. Leslie Headland, the former assistant to jailed predator Harvey Weinstein, has managed to out Rian Johnson. I usually don't discuss my methodology of my reviewing process, but I do a running commentary as I watch a film or a show. My notes for the first episode are 2 pages long. I typed the word dialogue 13 times. Let's tackle that problem first, the dialogue. It's written with present-day Southern California linguistics. They are one step away from using Riz in a sentence. However, the phrase, "I'm doing this just for a paycheck," has just entered the Star Wars vernacular. Oh, fuck off. Fuck right the fuck off and keep fucking off until you run out of fucks. This pulls you out of the immersion of the show. Next is the delivery of the lines. Stella Adler is rolling over in her grave. Nearly everyone delivers their lines with indifference. This seems to be a problem with this latest generation of young actors. Note to actors. Dudes, even if you don't want to be on set, act like you want to be on set. It's almost as if the actors have a contempt for Star Wars, and it oozes through their skin. Save for one, Lee Young-jae. He seems to be really into the role. Unfortunately, his character is relegated to lackey, a yes ma'am guy. He has to ask permission to wipe his ass from some green bitch. That takes me to a nice, tidy segue into the rest of the cast. I'm a glass half full kind of guy, so I'll go with the good first. Jedi Knight Saul, played by the aforementioned Jung Jae, is an interesting character with tons of potential. Jae takes his role very seriously, and it comes through on his performance. However, Leslie Headland, head writer and former assistant to jailed predator Harvey Weinstein, is unwilling to construct a strong male lead. He is left with no agency and plays second fiddle every single female character in the series. It was wonderful to see Carrie-Anne Moss again. She looks fantastic and replays the role of Trinity with the same intensity and grace as she did in The Matrix 20 years ago. But unfortunately, this is Disney Star Wars and not The Matrix. But she's only on screen for 5 minutes and then boom, she's dead. Oops, spoiler. Killed by a paring knife. Let's take that in for a moment. A piercing strike to the midsection from a 20,000 degree Kelvin plasma blade, and all we get now is, "Hey, walk it off, dickweed."
Three days later.
Unless you're that sissy Qui-Gon Jinn, obviously. But a 3-inch blade to the chest, and it's lights out, baby, for that Master Jedi. Indira couldn't use her force powers to dislodge the blade and send it directly back to Rick James' face?
I'm Rick James, bitch.
And then force heal herself? I thought force healing was a thing now. However, the series must continue, so plot armor for the win. And that's it. That's the good. Now time for the bad. Oh boy. Let's go with the Acolyte herself. Because, of course, it's a herself, because it's Disney Star Wars.
Put a ticket in, make her name it gay!
Osha and May Anahisa? I don't care. Because apparently the writers didn't care either. More spoilers. The twins, Amandla Stenberg, delivers all of her lines with contempt. There's no polite way to say this. She's an awful, awful actress. Period. Osha is portrayed by Stenberg as the prototypical disinterested modern girl boss. All 100 pounds of her. At first, I wasn't sure who to blame. The actor, the director, or the studio head. But in reality, it's all three. Like-minded individuals with a common goal. The continued ruination of the IP, formerly known as Star Wars. Next up, nepotism. The character of Vanessa Rowe. The actress and main squeeze of the former assistant to jailed predator Harvey Weinstein, Leslie Headland, Rebecca Henderson. Her portrayal of Rowe is horrendous. Watch her eyes in every scene she's in. She never knows where to look. there's a video of Sir Michael Caine giving a brief summation of how to act and where to look when the camera's on you.
Now, which eye do you pick? I look at with this eye because the camera is there. I look at this eye, at your eye there.
Now that you've watched it, you are more schooled in the art of acting than Henderson. She delivers all her lines with a mild disdain. Jord Fandor is a twink, and the actor Charlie Barnett is that retard that thinks Anakin blew up the Death Star.
But if you can't look and see that Anakin blowing up the Death Star possibly killed millions and millions of people. Anakin blowing up the Death Star. Anakin blowing up the Death Star.
What's that film that you love?
What film?
The one about the fucking hairdresser, the space hairdresser and the cowboy. The guy's, he's got a tinfoil pal and a pedal bin. His father's a robot and he's fucking fucked his sister. Lego. They're all made of fucking Lego.
Star Wars.
And that's all I'm going to say about that. To round up this group of idiots is X-23. Look, one of my writing pet peeves is the understanding of chain of command, as I have many friends and family that were in the service to this great nation. So, if you're going to write military-themed stories, it is called Star Wars, after all, you should have a general knowledge of how it all works. There were several instances where this obvious protocol is ignored by this little brat. So fucking smug. But again, this is due to the former assistant to jailed predator Harvey Weinstein, Leslie Headland's lack of obvious knowledge about the subject. And of course, a complete disregard, and I would say even outright disrespect for George's source material. The other actors also phone in their performances, especially discount Ezra Miller. Onto the dialogue, such as it is. Several lines are directly incongruous with each other. An example here.
My circumstances were unique, but the Jedi Council made their decision.
A few moments later.
If I recall correctly, Master Indara advised the Jedi Council to discontinue your training when you were...
Leaving the Jedi was the hardest thing that I've ever done, but it was my decision.
I mean, make up your mind, show. Was the bitch fired, or did she quit? Or how about this?
Steel or laser are no threat to them.
One eternity later.
Get the fuck out of here, Tommy.
I almost had him. You stuttering prick here.
I mean, this is page 1, day 1 of writing. Make sure you don't contradict yourself. But research and writing is hard, so fuck it. Should I move on to the diversity of the show? Nah, I'm gonna wait and see if things change in episode 3. There is so much more to discuss, like the basic plot, such as it is. The quickest way to summarize it is thusly. It's CSI in space, with the same shitty writing and girl boss mentality. And I put more thought into that comparison than the entire writing staff did in the Acolyte series. For some reason, Disney has decided to release an episode a week, I guess in penance for unleashing this piece of shit onto the audience. The Acolyte, episodes 1 and 2, 1 of 10. See you next week. Mayhem out!